Okay, we're here to kind of wrap this web page up. We're going to add some more sections and replace some of these images and put some final touches, and finally the footer. So here's where we're at. Let's go back to the code and let's see where we're at. Okay, so we're right down here where this first section is. And what we want to do now is create another section. But before we do that, I'm going to change the photos so they're not the same. At least I think I have different photos for this. And then, like I said, I've already found the photos that I liked on Unsplash. So let's hit save. Come back down here. Okay, great. So I just want to do a quick refresher. Let's open this up a little bit more. We're using sections to divide out the different sections of content. And remember, don't overcomplicate this. It's just boxes within boxes within boxes. So imagine an actual box. If you wanted to organize it, you wanted to put smaller boxes in there, you could, in this case, the section is the big box, and then it contains three smaller boxes within it. And remember, the magic that made this happen was this display flex on the section. That made it so they act as columns, and the boxes are flexible. That's basically what it means. So let's do, if we wanted to, we could throw in another section. And so I just kind of want to show you that. So let's, just for fun, we'll just add in a section, just add in one more. And we can copy this content up here, even with the button, and throw it in here. Now, what I want to show you, since I don't have three, let's copy the div. And since we don't have three, I don't want to put three sections in. So if you can kind of guess before I hit save and show you, the flex box, or the display flex up there, made it so that these three boxes within the main box, they distributed evenly to make three columns. So if we only have one div or one box within the main box, it should only give us one column. And you can see that here. So that's how you can handle that. So if I were to copy one of these divs and make a fourth column, whoops. I just got locked out. I apologize about that. All right, let's go check out why that is doing that. All right, let me go back down there. Let's take this, copy, paste that, and we'll try and run it. Whoops. Yeah, I need to open up the tutorial. That is not liking that. Here, let's go here. Sorry about that. I guess it's good to see how to work through some issues. Let me open up tutorial. Actually, let me go back out here. See if maybe that's just not working. Go to Sandbox, my personal website. Let's try this again. Sometimes the browser, there we go. There's the save button. Okay. So let's open this up, change the URL to tutorial. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Well, hopefully Hopefully it works now. Okay, we'll do tutorial. Now I'll grab this and make a fourth column. And I will save. And let's refresh. Okay, there we go. Now I got 4 columns. So you can see how that works. Now, I don't really like that. I like it in 3s, but you can kind of get the gist of it. So you see here that we put 2 boxes in, and then we established a width on this. That's why it retained that width. So you can add as many sections as you want. You can make it 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, 5 columns, but obviously it gets smaller and smaller as you go. Because we did so much work in the style sheet up here, especially on the section div, or the section and the section div, we put the margin. It automatically handles that, the margin. So that way, that's why it's consistent throughout the document. All right, so let's go on to the footer. So the footer, really simple. So what I'm gonna do for this footer is I'm gonna put in a span. Now, the nice thing about a span tag is now you're gonna put your own name. This is a great place to put copyright information, your assignment, your school information, or whatever it is. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put a pipe in, so that's right by the /. So do a pipe. Just put like your school name or course name or whatever. Another pipe. The copy, the copyright symbol. That's how to do the copyright symbol. You can do something like copyright 2021. I can't remember what it's called. So if you'd go search like copyright ASCII HTML code. Let's see if we can find it. HTML copyright symbol code. There it is. Yeah, so it's right there. You can see that. That's what I put in. So ampersand, copy, and then semicolon. That gives you the copyright symbol. You just Google it or copy and paste it or just type it in. All right. So if I save that, let's go check it out. Go down to my footer. Obviously, it's not looking super awesome, okay? So we need to go and actually put in some style sheet or some styles to that, so we can make it look good. So what I'm gonna do is go back up here, and because I'm using the footer tag, I don't have to reference a specific class name or ID. So I'm going to put a background color. I'm going to match the design that we have. So I'm using the hexadecimal 13A4FA. Okay. Text, align. Oops. Center that. We want the text to actually float right in the center of that container or box. Let's do a padding of like 30 pixels to kind of match everything else we're doing, so it actually looks good and it's not cramped in there inside that box. And then hexadecimal for the color of the actual font. I'm going to do it white. Here's a trick for things that have all hexadecimal colors have 6 characters, but when it's like the same character, you only like white and black or gray, you can use just 3 characters and it's the same. It renders the exact same. So let's save that, go over here, and there we go. It's as easy as that. That's how simple that is. If you want to mess around with this, like I said, add more sections. One thing that is bothering me is when you hover over these buttons, it doesn't look like an actual, I mean, it looks like a button, but it doesn't react like a button. So that's one last thing I'm going to do. And I think because it's just bothering me. So remember these buttons here have their own tag. And we already stylized it, but let me show you something that we can do with it. There is a property, I think it's cursor. So let's do HTML cursor, actually CSS change. There you go, cursor. And sometimes I type W3, so it finds it on W3 Schools. You can see I already searched for it prior. And here are all the different cursors that you can use. There's the move cursor, the help cursor. So you can actually use all the, try some of these out because it's kind of funny. If you use like a grab cursor, you know, for buttons, or a zoom in or something like that, or even the weight cursor, that'd be kind of funny. But I'm going to use the pointer one. So I'm just going to copy this cursor pointer. And what this means is that my cursor right now, you can see, has changed. When I mouse over here, it changes into the arrow. When I go over here, it changes into different cursor. I don't know what that's called, but I guess text select cursor. Anyways, whoever programmed this web page changed the cursor based on what pane I'm hovering over. We're doing the same thing. We're going to change the cursor to a pointer. So if I hit save, go over here, refresh. When I hover over here, it should change into the pointer. And just so you can kind of see, let's do the move cursor, right? So that's just MOV. I can change this to MOV. Hit save, refresh, and then when I hover over, it's the move pointer. And so you can kind of mess around with that for, you know, fun stuff. There might be some other cursors out there that I'm not aware of that are even more fun to mess around with. Now, last but not least, let's add a hover. So if you do button hover, and you can actually change the background color. Now notice I don't have to add all these properties because what the button already knows that these are the properties. All I need to do is say on hover, change the background color to something else. So in this case, let's just make it dramatic. I'm going to just change it to red, or yeah, let's just do red. And just so it's obvious, and then I'll let you guys change it to whatever color you want. We can actually change it to this color here. So when I hover, it should change the button color. Now, if you wanted to change the font size, whatever you want to change on the button, you could put it here. So you could actually change the padding so it gets bigger. You can change the border. You can change it, the padding. And I also encourage you to go look at the other CSS properties of things like drop shadows and bevels and other fun things that you can do with CSS up there. So I'm gonna grab this color because it's gonna bother me. Let's make sure you put a hash. There we go, save. One last refresh, make sure we look good. There we go. Anyways, all right, that's it. So there's no necessarily right or wrong way of doing something this in HTML and CSS. There's sometimes more streamlined and a more semantic way of doing it, but you're not going to break anything. And like I said, I encourage you to get used to this website called W3 Schools. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with CSS.